Episode 3798, There Is No Us Without You.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. Are you having a fabulous weekend? Do you know what's happening? Yes, I know it's relationship builders. I know we're going to talk about marriage, the person you're sleeping with, but even better, football's around the corner and the U.S. Open, it starts. Oh, yes. Okay, so got to get some of your sports going. I'm sure there's something with golf too, but you know what? There's no us without you. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter to keep it simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. I really do hope and pray that you're having a fabulous weekend. The weather, I'm still traveling. We're actually be traveling back later on this evening, so praying for safe travels for us. And you know what? What is it? August just signals more than just the end of the summer, right? Because the days grow shorter and the school bells ring once more. It marks a shift back into the grind of routines, packed schedules, and mounting responsibilities. Activities like oh, really? Do I have to do that again? Between packing the lunches and juggling after school activities and managing work commitments and saying yes to everything when really you should be saying no more than yes. Well, one crucial relationship often slips into the background: your marriage. But I'm here to remind you, there is no us without you. You know, during this busy season, it can become a perfect storm where connection is lost in the chaos. Maybe you're just two ships passing in the night. And that's not how a marriage is supposed to be. Yet it's exactly when life feels busiest that being intentional about your relationship matters most. You've got to be willing to carve out space for meaningful connection, however small, however big. But it can be the lifeline your marriage needs to thrive. A lot of us, though, are just kind of getting through, barely getting by. And we're trying to live with the crumbs, the pennies that are left in the love account. How much money, really, and I don't mean literally financial money, but heart money, is left in your love account? Would you say it is one that it's like, oh man, Christiane, it's just like we're in the millions? Or maybe you're like, oh no, ours is better. It's in the billions. Fabulous. I really want to encourage you to celebrate it. Don't take your marriage for granted. Be intentional. Be even more intentional. Build up a stronger foundation. Why? Because it's during these times that you want to grow that love account, okay? You do. That heart account that I keep talking about, you want to grow that. You want it to stretch. You want it to blossom. Because when the storm comes, and I'm telling you, it will, and there's all different kinds of storms, right? It can be not just because of the two of you not getting along. It could be finances. It could be your children. It could be you as empty nesters, and now you're looking at each other across the table, or maybe just side to side sitting on the couch eating takeout, and you're like, what are we going to talk about? We have nothing to do. The kids aren't here. Where are we going? But before you dive into making changes, pause and ask, how did we get here? Wherever that here is. What parts of our marriage are working and what isn't working for us? Taking this honest inventory sets the stage for clarity and growth. It allows you to recognize, you know what, here is where we are. This is the honest truth. Because in all honesty, there is no us without you. Meaning that you can't have two people come together unless if you are present. Your role, your actions, and your mindset are not just parts of your marriage. They shape it entirely. And too often we get caught up in doing everything for everyone else, leaving our spouse behind emotionally and physically. Reclaiming intentionality begins with recognizing how much your specific contributions matter in the us equation. So don't you think it's time to reclaim that intentionality? That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Reclaim intentionality for us. But that us includes you first, right? It takes 1 to start and 2 to finish. You have to own your own part. So what does owning your part look like? And if you're not really sure, again, go back to the question, where are you now? What do you need to focus on? Where do you need to actually say, well, we're really great on the intimacy level. Man, we're so good at that. But when it comes to talking, we just don't talk. In fact, we don't know how to talk. In fact, we argue more than we talk. It's like, oh, no, we don't even argue. We just yell. That's our tone all the time. I have a very, very sweet friend. We are in a mastermind together. We do life together. She's a sister in Christ. And I love her dearly. And it was awesome because we were at a conference together along with our mastermind group together. And her husband came into town. And this month is their 22nd wedding anniversary. And yes, a shout out to my Miss Katie and Mr. Tapp. I love you both dearly. Happy anniversary. But I share that with you because the 22 years has not been an easy ride for them. But it was such an honor for me, on behalf of myself and my husband, to buy them dinner and dessert, just to celebrate a milestone with them. 22 years of commitment, saying, you know what, I choose you today. I choose to love you. I choose to see you as beautiful even amidst the chaos. Because that's hard to do. It's hard to do when you once lived with the number, goose egg in your bank account. And you were like, okay, I'm working today so we can eat tomorrow. Maybe you recognize that. Maybe it's been decades for you, but you remember those days. Not all of us just kind of fall into money. It takes hard work. It takes growth. It takes stretching. It takes trust. It takes honesty. And so I want to encourage you today with their story, because they've done missionary work. They've traveled and lived in different countries. They have 5 beautiful children. But one thing that they have always done right is committed to each other and seeing each other. And that's hard to do. I have my own story of our marriage, and I've shared that multiple times in little bits here and there. I mean, pretty soon it'll all come out, but it takes time. We would be here literally for days if I told you the whole story. But I do think it's important that we understand and we see that there is something better on the other side. On the other side of that tone that cuts like a knife. On the other side of that broken heart because you're just not paying enough attention to your spouse. On the other side of, gosh, the kids are my focus right now. And really, hun, you just don't matter right now. There is still hope on the other side of all of that. And sometimes we don't get to hear that. We don't get to hear reconciliation. We just hear of the divorces. I was talking to another gal, and she said the best thing I did was to raise my kids as a single mother. I didn't say anything. I didn't respond, but I thought, wow. Don't know the story, but it made me question. There is no us without you. And that means you have to own your own part. So what does that look like in everyday life? Number 1, own your emotions daily. Notice how you're feeling and why. Don't just be mad to be mad. Like, what is it? I know I've had these conversations with myself. Has nothing to do with my marriage. And I'm like, why am I so worked up over this? Now, sometimes I know it's because, it's just my pet peeve. Now, I don't give into that excuse, but at least I acknowledge it. So then I can say, okay, how's a better way of approaching this situation? And oh, by the way, if this pet peeve has nothing to do with my husband, why am I yelling at him? He doesn't deserve it. Or maybe for you, are you carrying stress from work? Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you work out in the corporate world, maybe you're opening up your own brick and mortar store. Maybe you're becoming an author. What is it? Are past hurts coloring your reactions? Are you still dealing with the past? You can't let go because you haven't walked the path of forgiveness. Name your emotions without judgment, and then share them honestly with your spouse to invite understanding instead of defensiveness. Now, understand this. If you are in an abusive relationship, this is not for you. And I say that very lovingly. I want to make sure you're in a safe environment, and this kind of stuff does not apply to you. If you are married to someone who has been diagnosed with NPD, narcissist personality disorder, that's another conversation too. If you have someone who has mental disabilities or multiple personalities, this is not for you. Now, I will say this though, you can take this information and use it in all your relationships, but we're talking about it in an environment that both spouses are of sound mind. Okay? That's important to understand. Because unfortunately, we have a lot of relationships that do not have two people that are of sound mind. Okay? So I just wanted to make sure you knew where I was coming from, because this is a serious conversation. You've got to reclaim intentionality for us to work, as in you and your spouse, not us as in you and me, even though that'd be kind of cute. But I'm just saying, right? All right. Okay. Did you smile a little bit? Yeah. So you're going to remember that part. Okay. So own your emotions daily. This is not about blaming. Did you hear me say anything about blame your husband for what he did today? No. Don't bring home, if you're a teacher and you're going back to school, don't bring home the 120 kids' attitudes that you had to deal with and just spout off at your husband and blame him for your day. That's not fair. And I will say to the husbands out there, it's not fair to bring your junk home to your wife. Okay? Again, it takes two to tango, but you got to have one to start. Number 2, practice active listening. I cannot drive this home enough. Commit to really hearing your spouse, listening, not going, I'm going to finish your sentence because I know what you're going to say. That's great if you can finish each other's sentences. That's fabulous. But what if on this one day you are quiet and you let him finish his own sentence? He might just say something totally different and you might be floored. Amazing. Be amazed by your spouse. Listen, not just with the idea of I'm going to respond, but engaging with empathy. I hear you, babe. Yeah, that is unfair. I don't understand why it's happening, but I hear you and my heart breaks for you. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Daily check-ins can be as simple as 5-minute conversations about how each other's days have unfolded, like what's happening in front of you. What's weighing on your mind? Or what joys have you noticed? These small moments build trust and connection over time. But nothing works unless if you're actively listening. So practice it. And that means sometimes, literally, I kid you not, if you feel the urge that you are going to start talking and your spouse is still want also, okay, then physically take your hand and put it on your mouth and cover up your lips like this. I know I sound funny, but I'm doing that on purpose because I want you to hear. If you were to talk like this to your husband, you would sound very strange. Do you notice the difference? Yes. Stop interrupting. You got 2 ears to listen. There's a reason for that. So if you physically have to hold something up to your mouth, or if you don't want to put your hand over your mouth, then drink some water or drink something, preferably nothing with alcohol. Seriously, I mean that genuinely, because you need to listen. And if you're sitting there drinking alcohol, it's going to impair your listening skills. So drink something to keep your mouth shut and full so you can hear what is being said. But you got to practice it. It's hard. It doesn't come easy. And even me at times, I really am a good listener. I've been told this over and over again. And it is one of my superpowers. However, when I'm in a hurry and I know what he's going to say, and I know exactly what's going to happen, and I know my man so well. I'm like, I got this already, and I don't even have a sentence finished. I have the rest of the paragraph finished to the point where I could write the dissertation for him before he ever finishes to the first period. I kid you not. So I have to sit there and remind myself, nope, Christiane, shut your mouth. Don't say anything. And what do? Sometimes I drink my water. Sometimes I'll hold, if I am writing at my desk or something, I'll take a pen to my mouth and just put it near me. Why? It's a distraction and it keeps my mouth shut. We got to learn that. I'm telling you, it's brilliance when it comes to your marriage. And then finally, number 3, take responsibility for your actions. Yes, if you made a mistake, own it. But first off, I want you to reflect. What have you contributed to your current dynamics in your marriage? Yeah, I know you're thinking, that's a really good question. I haven't thought about it. No, we're not thinking about it. But you need to. What behaviors or habits might be pushing your partner away or fostering resentment? Have you been traveling a lot lately? Or maybe you just don't recognize what he's doing around the house. Whatever it is, think through it. Really stop. And if you're like, I have no idea what to do, okay, then you take one question. What have I contributed to my current dynamics in my marriage? Okay, now, what are my behaviors? How am I acting? Okay, he takes out the trash. Have I ever thanked him for taking out the trash? These are the conversations that I'm saying right now to you that should be going on in your head. Okay, so I'm thinking for you right now. Okay, so I haven't thanked him. That would be a good idea if I thank him. When was the last time I told him, thanks for working so hard for the family? You know, he does. He works, he gets up early and travels 45 minutes away, and then he comes back and gets caught in traffic. Sometimes it's an hour and a half later. He does this every single day. And he always comes home and gives me a hug. When was the last time that I gave him a hug first? These are the conversations you need to have inside your head and with your heart. What are you doing? Because as you have these conversations and you're really thinking about it, that allows you to see your patterns, what you have formulated over the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And once when you figured that out, you can own those patterns and invite dialogue about change. Maybe it's not working. What can I do better, hun? You know, it just really irritates me when you work so hard. And for some reason, man, I just don't think I tell you enough how grateful I am. What can I do? What can I do to show you gratitude? Ask. Don't assume. Right? And the one thing you don't want to do is blame. But you do want to make a commitment to grow. So these patterns are not about saying, you made me do this. It's your attitude, hun. It's your fault. No, it's not. It takes 1 to start and 2 to finish. This is about your contribution to your dynamics in your marriage, right? Not about your spouse's. Big difference. Remember, a daily check-in doesn't require long hours or deep therapy sessions. It doesn't. But it can be as straightforward as asking, how are you really doing? Have you ever walked in somewhere to work, even in your own home, and you say, hey, how are you? Fine. I'm good. Same answer all the time. Drives me crazy. Yes, that's a secret of mine. It drives me crazy. It's like, no, when I'm asking how you're doing, I really want to know, how are you doing? I don't want this bypass of, yeah, I'm busy. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. It's been a day, you know. No, I want to know. Or maybe it's sharing a thank you for something your spouse did that day, right? That gratitude. These rituals become the glue that holds together busy lives and bolsters emotional intimacy. Yeah, I know. The good part, the 3-letter SEX, you got it. I know. That intimacy is fabulous. It's firework worthy. But here's the thing. It can't happen every single place that you are. But that emotional intimacy can. And that's what you want in your marriage always. Because that can happen anywhere, anytime, any place. So I want you to think about a daily check-in that you can do. That's where the two of you come together and Each of you, one goes first, and the other one goes next, and you share 2 things you're grateful for. Here's the thing, though. It's not about the other person, so it's not about your spouse. It's 2 things you're grateful for within your day. What's happened? Why? Because this allows your spouse to understand what's going on. And as women, we like to talk about what is happening. And so we don't have to vomit our whole day all over our husbands, right? No, we don't have to do that, women. We don't. Even though we may want to, and we may want to tell those stories like 5 more times, but in 6 different ways. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And it feels fresh every single time we tell it. And we get more energized. And then we get that passion in our voice, like, you won't believe that this happened, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. The passion is there. Honestly, your husband may not want to listen. And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. It may just be a fact. Don't look at it from a feeling perspective. Look at it from a fact. And so when you can come together and do a daily check-in, maybe it's at night, you go to bed at a reasonable time when you're not both exhausted. And there will be times that you just don't get to do this. I get that because life happens. But if you can make this an everyday occurrence, that would be fabulous. And it will 10 times your deep love for each other. It truly will. So 2 things you're grateful for. 2 emotions you've experienced in your day. Again, it cannot be about your spouse. It's not directed at them. This is sharing about your day. And then you pray together. Do you like that? TWO. There takes 2 of you. Okay, I know. I'll keep my funny things to myself, but pray together. All right, it's 2 by 2 by 2. This will change everything. And it allows you to get to know your spouse more. And if you want to take it to a next level, when you're talking about the emotions, you can say, I felt this when I was, and you go back to a past story, not about your spouse, but just something in your past. And that allows you to share something truly that is more compelling to your heart that maybe your spouse really didn't know, or maybe you share and you tell more of that story. But start with this, and then you can add the other 2. Remember, marriage is a beautiful thing, but it's only as strong as the care both of you put into nurturing it. You've got to be willing to do it. There is no quote unquote us without you, meaning you. You're listening to me right now, right? Your presence, your heart, your willingness to show up for the one you vowed to walk alongside. You made a commitment. Are you willing to carry it out? Are you truly willing to say, you know what? I want our love to grow. I want us to be able to poke fun at each other still, even as we grow older. There's nothing more heartwarming than seeing 2 older people walking in front of us. My husband and I have experienced this together. And he just looks at me and he grabs my hand. I think it's the sweetest thing ever. But he sees them and he's like, and he just has to look at me, and I know exactly what he's saying. I want that to be us. I want us to walk together. I want us to grow old together. I want us to continue to share life together. But my friend, that's a choice that you make every single day. Love is an action verb. It requires you to take aim. Action ignites the motivation. And that motivation is what? To continue to put in the time to love your spouse unconditionally. With the back to school season here, dare to make your relationship a priority. Seriously. Now's your time to be able to say no more than you say yes. Figure out what you're doing this season and don't be apologetic about it. If you need some more time in your marriage, then make that time. Figure it out. Because when you invest in you invest in us. And you need to remember that. Remember, it starts with 1 and it finishes with 2. And that's an ROI, return on investment, worth showing up for every single day. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.